Well, it's September 11th. Heading down to southern Alberta, Milk River, the Ross Ranch. Jason's going to be arriving tomorrow. He's leaving from Kelowna. And I don't know, I'm about maybe 3 hours away right now. It's hot, 29 degrees. So it's going to be a hot one. Maybe we'll be able to hunt over water a little bit. We're archery hunting. I have an antelope tag, and then we'll each have a mule deer tag. So pretty stoked. And I got the next 2 weeks off to try to make something happen here. Hopefully it won't take that long, but this is a tag that takes 10 years to draw. So, you know, it's kind of funny to think that next time I might do this, I'll be closer to 70. This is the kind of day I've been having. To drive all the way to Medicine Hat to get my flat changed, and now I'm behind a tractor that's taking up 3 lanes of a 1-lane road. Not sure what he's going to do if somebody's actually coming in the other direction. In 2020, I lost the ability to draw my compound bow consistently. My 4 surgeries to both shoulders had resulted in advanced osteoarthritis, and the results of an MRI in the summer was that there really wasn't any surgical remedy except total bilateral shoulder replacement. So I applied to the Alberta government for a medical exemption so that I could use a crossbow in archery season, and it didn't take very long, and I had that permit, and then I went out and bought $3,000 worth of crossbow and accessories. For this trip, we were hunting the Ross Ranch in southeast Alberta. This is an enormous ranch made up of a mixture of private land and grazing leases. I had an absolutely amazing trip here in 2015 with my good buddy Rick Bonner, where we managed to get 2 pronghorn with our rifles. Now on this trip, like that one, we were committed to hunting the pronghorns using only our feet and our bikes to get around, so no road hunting. After my trip to Medicine Hat to get my bike repaired, my brother Jason hadn't arrived from the Okanagan yet, so I headed out for a quick afternoon hunt. And as luck would have it, I came across a small herd of pronghorns close to camp and managed to get close enough to one small buck to get a shot with my crossbow. Now my shot was too far back, so what followed was an attempt to get close enough to put another shot into it. Eventually I gave up and headed back to camp because my brother had arrived while I was trying to get this pronghorn. It's coming back to camp and Jason has arrived. You made it! Good.
Good. Get everything fixed?
Yep. And I shot a pronghorn.
What? That's what you've been doing? Oh, jeez. Oh, holy smokes. Well, congratulations.
Well, I've shot it. It's not dead.
Oh, okay.
So it's bedded down. It's not big. I'm getting buyer's remorse, but so why don't you get ready? Because we can go I want to go show you where all the mule deer were coming out, and we should try to set something up there for you. And I'm hoping this thing is gonna die. It bedded down once, and I got close to it, and I took a bunch of film of it, but then I thought I'd try to stalk closer to it, and then it got up and it walked away again, and then it went 100 yards and it lied down again, and then I'm like, I'm just gonna let it lie where it is. Eat them. Woo! You led him a little too much.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought it went right over his back.
No,
Oh.
went right. It was the right level, but it was in front of him.
Bummer. See if I can.
When I last saw my antelope, it was bedded down on the other side of that ridge to my right. So we were going to try to sneak up and ease over that ridge and see if we could get another shot into it. Hey! 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 Alright, got a pronghorn. It's a pretty small one. Record? Yep. Well, we got him. Didn't make a great shot, but it's hard to make good shots when you're shaking and it's ways away. It was about 43 yards when I ranged it, and I was with 4 other bucks. So I was a little bit confused about once I shot it, which buck actually ran off, went over a hill, and I was following one, and then this one I didn't see, and he was bedded down, and as I was walking, he jumped up and he started walking slowly, and I followed him, well, probably to about 100 yards that way, and then I stopped, and then he bedded down, and then I just sat there and waited, and then I got up to walk back to the truck, and he saw me get up, and he came up here, and he bedded right here.
Bedded right there. And I think when we came along, I think he moved to right here.
To right there, yeah.
But then he died.
Yeah, that was all the energy he had. So, small little pronghorn, but it's antelope.
Yeah, that's pretty
with,
cool.
with my bow. Yeah. Now I'm going to see huge ones from now on.
They're a pretty amazing looking animal.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, eh?
Yeah.
This is the second trip that I've camped at this spot, and it's one of my all-time favorite camping spots. We're under a bridge by the Milk River, so it's nice and cool when it's hot out, and no need to worry about tarps if it rains. You're also totally out of view from any nearby road, so that's good as well. This trip, because it was mid-September, I brought a small freezer and a generator, which was a pretty slick setup. We processed anything we got in the field, threw everything into game bags, then plastic bags, and then straight into the freezer. Now, in this region of Alberta, you can't hunt on Sundays, which kind of sucks, but did give us the opportunity to do some scouting and make a plan for the next morning. My brother had a mule deer buck tag and a whitetail tag, and I had a mule deer and a whitetail tag. So we definitely had plenty of animals to hunt still. We had a great day riding our bikes and doing a lot of hiking. We did manage to get a blind set up for the next morning, and we learned a lot about the hunting area and definitely felt more comfortable heading into the next day. But really we shouldn't have, because although we were seeing 20 to 30 deer every day, they were going to prove pretty hard to get close enough for an archery shot. Well, we certainly saw a lot of animals over the next couple hours, but unfortunately none within bow range. We packed up at about 11, took the blind down, moved it to a different location, and then headed back to camp. We spent the afternoons reading, eating, catching up on sleep, and just generally relaxing. Pronghorn tenderloins. Joanne's gonna be mad that we're eating them. There's shrimp. Joanne won't care about that.
Just a couple of trolls eating their bounty.
For our evening hunt, we built a natural blind on the edge of a pasture right beside an electric fence. Unfortunately, we had no deer come within bow range that evening, but we did have 2 bull elk hang out within 150 yards of us for about an hour, so that was pretty cool. The following morning, we hunted the blind we had set up the day before. We were willing to shoot bucks or does, but again, we saw a lot of deer, but none in bow range. That afternoon, we changed tactics somewhat, where before we were hunting together and I was the cameraman, we decided now to split up and self-film. Now this makes things far more challenging, but also doubles the odds of us getting something. We both decided to build our own blinds, and Jason definitely got the award for creativity. Here goes Jason, wrangling his natural blind.
It's September 15th. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm down by the river in this
Both Jason and I had action that night. He had a big 4x4 muley bust him, while I had a stalk on a mule deer doe that just didn't work out quite right. But in the last half an hour of legal light, I had about 6 does walk up really close to me. And luckily, at least one of them didn't notice me hiding there in the grass. After the shot, the deer ran back toward the scrub brush, and I was able to get my main camera on it.
I can't believe that worked out. Man. The one doe was on to me because I scared her off the field, but there were 6 others with her and they didn't know what was going on. And finally a nice big one walked up and I was able to take my crossbow off the rest and she didn't notice me and I shot her at about 20 yards. And she didn't go, I don't know, 40, 50 yards. Oh, that's so cool. All right. Oh, man. Awesome. Mule deer doe.
Well, there's my mule deer doe. I made a perfect shot. She went like 40 yards, but man, did I have a hard time finding her in this grass. I had to go back and look at the film and look at landmarks and see where she dropped. I walked by her like 4 times, so I was getting a little stressed, but now I'm happy. Now I got to get all my crap and go get Jason. But yeah, there was like 6 or 7 of them, and one of them was on to me, but the other ones weren't. And this one came over, and I think I shot her at like 20 yards. I got it on this camera, I hope. I couldn't even turn the main camera on because I was just pinned down. So, yeah, now we've got to figure out how to get her out of here. This morning's hunt was the same as our last 2 mornings. We saw lots of deer, but none within Jason's bow range. On our walk out that morning, we had a little bit more excitement than we needed when Jason almost stepped on a big prairie rattlesnake. Pretty cool experience, and we got some neat footage. And no one got bit. That afternoon, we did some more exploring on our bikes and by foot, looking for different areas to hunt. It was fun, but we decided we might as well continue on hunting in the area we'd been in, as we were seeing tons of deer and we thought eventually we'd get another chance.
It's September 16th. It's about 5:30. I'm hunting in a new spot. I've got a whitetail buck tag. That's the only tag I have left because I got the mule deer doe last night. So I'm just hunting a gully that they seem to be funneling out to going onto the agricultural fields. And Jason's over in another gully that we saw a lot of deer funneling down into for the last couple of nights. So we'll sit here for about 2.5 hours and see what we see. It's a beautiful view.
Well, the view might have been beautiful, but the no-see-ums were just terrible. Well, I was only there probably a half an hour, and deer started popping out everywhere. And I mean everywhere. I don't know how many deer I saw, but it was definitely over 20. Some came real close, some didn't come as close, but there were lots of them. About a half an hour before the end of legal light, we ran into this. A guy wandering around in the open with an arrow on his bow, scaring everything away within a 2-kilometer radius. It took me a minute to figure out why all the deer were running away until I saw him. He then proceeded to climb up the ridge and walk along the skyline. One thing I can tell you is that you're never going to kill a deer on the prairies by walking out in the open, or especially along the skyline. It was a frustrating end to an otherwise great day. Well, this morning hunt was like all the others. We saw lots of deer, but nothing in bow range, so we headed back to camp and hoped for better luck in the evening. It's September 17th. It's about 5 o'clock. I'm hunkered down at the end of the field that I shot the mule deer doe on. And the wind is blowing out of the east, so it's not. So I had to come here. I didn't really want to. I was hoping the wind would be blowing from the west, but on my way in here, I spooked, 6 or 7 deer. So not a good sign. So anything that way of me is going to smell me, but if it comes out in front of me, it's not. But it's a huge field system, so we're just going to have to hope that whatever comes out is a male, and it's in front of me, not behind me. So we'll hang out till about 8 o'clock and see what happens. We both hunted the edges of the agricultural fields that night, and we had been seeing loads of deer there, so we were pretty optimistic. The interesting thing about hunting in this area was all the bulls that you had to skirt around on your way in and out. It was a bit scary at times, especially in the dark or when they walk up and look at you from 10 yards. This was our last day of hunting, as my brother was heading home the next day. And with no close encounters that morning, it all came down to the last evening of the hunt to see if Jason could get an arrow in one of these elusive prairie deer. I made a natural blind along the edge of the brush choke coulee and hid there for the evening. Well, Jason did the same thing, except he was watching a draw that we'd seen lots of deer come out of on their way to the agricultural fields in the evening, so he was set up there. I had quite a few encounters in my evening sit, but nothing that I could shoot. I had a really pleasant surprise though when I met Jason back at the truck and he told me he'd got a whitetail doe down. So we headed back to clean and pack that out.
Last night of the hunt, Friday, not the first time that I've shot an animal on the last day of my hunt. Probably about the 3rd time. Nice doe. We've been working hard for them. Finally got set up in a good spot and had the wind and managed to get the other hunters deterred before they got to us. Or they turned back when they saw us. And yeah, she came in. There was 3 other ones, and got a 35-yard shot on her, got her right behind the shoulder, and she went about 100 yards. So
yeah, that was an awesome shot. Holy cow.
It's been a great hunt. Great way to finish it off.
Third animal.
Third animal of the hunt.
In 5 days.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, eh?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that was a great way to end our hunt. If you've never hunted the prairies, it's so worth giving it a try. I fell in love with the place the first time I came here and was really happy to be with my brother for his first time. When you've grown up hunting the bush like we have, it's such a change of pace to see so many animals daily, but then have to try to figure out how to get close to them. I know we didn't kill any huge animals, but for us it really didn't matter. Getting a pronghorn, a mule deer, and a whitetail was super exciting, and at the end of the day, we really couldn't have been any happier. I'm already looking forward to coming back again.